Hello, I'm Chris from Technical Support. Some of you may have spoken with me before. Just going to give a bit of a presentation on one of our newest offerings, which is Acronis Cyber Backup. We've basically been around for a while in cloud services here at Simply Mail Solutions, and basically we're here to inform and help our customers in all areas of cloud services, whether that be in our more traditional field of email or on Teams, 365, cloud storage. We'll help you through functionality that you may already have and provide you with free of charge solutions where we're able to assist you in this time where you might not have all the tools that you need for those who are still working from home. What is Acronis Cyber Backup? Well, it's a cloud-based backup solution. It's quite broad in scope. What we're mostly offering at the moment is cyber backup for Office 365. Now, it backs up all areas of 365, whether it be SharePoint, Teams, OneDrive, mailboxes, and it is capable of being connected through to other cloud storage. So from Amazon Web Services, from Google, it can connect there and also use storage there to store the backups on. Why you'd want to use Acronis Cyber Backup is partially down to how all this information on these cloud services are stored. So whilst there are systems in place on 365 to recover your data, it doesn't necessarily recover it in the way that you'd want. So in technical support, it's not uncommon for us to see a situation where people have a couple of folders, things that have been actioned, things that haven't been actioned, and something happens and a couple of those folders get deleted. There's methods in Exchange Online and 365 to recover the mail items, but it doesn't recover what folders they were stored in. So unless you have something like Acronis Cyber Backup, you're suddenly left with getting the information back, but without any of the detail that you had it all arranged in. You might also just need it to the recovery, not for recovering from a deletion, but just to go back to a state where you had all your data arranged in a specific way based on how you've been working on it. Now, as for how it works, when it's all provisioned, it uses a global admin account on 365 to provision services onto 365 that connects it all into the cloud agent that does all the backups. It makes backups with a focus on doing daily backups, weekly backups, or monthly backups. And once you actually tell it what you want to back up, you get to configure how long it keeps them. For instance, just off the top of my head, one of the durations for mailboxes is if it's a monthly backup, it holds on to it for each monthly backup for 6 months. But you can configure that down to 3 months to save on storage space, or even put it up to an even higher figure. But of course, it'll come at eating more storage space as it holds on to them for longer. As mentioned before, it can be used to back up the vast majority of 365. So it does cover mailbox data, individual users OneDrive, Teams, so its own storage, 365 groups in the same way. It's storage, it's mail items. It can be configured for backing up SharePoint sites, not just as a whole, but in individual sites, as well as public folders. Though I am not aware of many people who are still using them. Now, when it comes to having Acronis first provisioned for you, there's nothing set as to what it's backing up. The service that you purchase is mostly the storage space. So when you first log in with your admin, what you'll see is basically a breakdown into what areas you can look into groups, public folders, site collections, teams, and then you can expand it from there and look into it in more detail. So you could go into users, all the users, and then you can select the ones that you want to actually do the backup on. You can do it either as a whole group where you set it to back up all users, or just a couple of specific ones. And depending on what part you're backing up, when you hit backup, it'll give you the option on whether, well, for users, it'll be backup for mail items, or you could toggle it for the backup for OneDrive. So you'd be going in there potentially twice if you to configure up OneDrive backup, then configure up backup for mail items. It's basically you just set the fields to how you want it, and then just hit apply, and then he'll just start doing a scheduled backup. For users, for instance, it's predefined as a daily backup. And basically, initiating a recovery is pretty much the same sort of idea. You'd go down to the expand the group, go to the specific item, hit recover, and then you'd hit recover, and then there's basically shows you all the different recovery points that it has saved. So you'd then be able to click on the particular backup that you want to use, and then it offers you further breakdown, like if you for mail items, whether you want to recover specific individual email or the whole email backup as a whole to reinstate. Now, as mentioned, we've been helping people work from anywhere with cloud services since 2006. We've been one of the earliest cloud providers, and we have lots of experience in that area for all the services that you need to remotely work on, support all the applications that you have. All our help desk, both sales and support, are UK based, so you'll always get a UK based team when you call through. We all use these cloud services ourselves in our day-to-day work, so we have direct familiarity with these systems, so we can offer advice on them just from using them. If you need any assistance or want to discuss any products that are useful, you can either call sales on 01925 818 448, or for more direct technical assistance, it's 01925 818 252.
Thanks for doing that for us, Chris. That's great. There's just been a few questions that have come in from customers that are actually watching it at the moment. So I'm just going to ask you just a couple of questions that have come in on the service. So one of the people that's on it at the moment has asked, if an employee leaves and deletes their mailbox before they leave, would they be able to get it back? So is that retrievable? If they actually leave and say the mailbox is deleted, can they get that data back if they need to?
Yeah, the backup is, as long as it's been set up to backup in Acronis, you'd be able to recover all the data. Either you could remake the mailbox and recover it to that, or you can actually specify to recover all that data to another mailbox through the interface during recovery.
Okay, that's great. There's another one as well. So if a customer's having trouble recovering the data, are they able to call us to get that for us to do that for them? Can we restore the data for them if they're having absolute trouble and they can't figure out how to do it?
Yeah, we do have overall admin access, and we would be able to go in and then use Acronis to do the recovery, as long as Acronis was set to actually do the initial backup of the mailbox in the first place.
Okay, that's great. There's just a few more that have come in. What someone's asking, when they do a backup, can you exclude certain folders? So, for example, if you don't want to backup, say, the junk folder, for example, because obviously people might not want to back up anything that's in there, are they able to exclude folders at all?
From what I've seen, there are a variety of options. I have not seen the ability to exclude folders in a mailbox myself.
Right, okay. Is it compliant, say, with financial institutions? Do you know, are you able to, like, so we've got some people that are watching at the moment that actually work in finance, and they just want to make sure it's compliant with, obviously, with their security standards that they have?
That would mostly come down to the specifics of the standards. Now, Acronis does back up to location-based storage. So if part of the standard was that it had to be UK-based, then that is possible, as by default that's where it provisions the storage. However, without being fully familiar with all the standards required, I would probably recommend to contact us with what the standards are that you need it to meet, so we can ensure that it does meet your requirements.
No, that's great. And I mean, someone else has just asked as well. Is the service available only via the web, or can you access the backups, say, via a mobile phone or anything like that at all?
So it is a cloud service, and how it's all managed is via basically a web front end. So as long as you've got a web browser, you can log in with your admin account and set it up and do recoveries from it. It'd probably be a little difficult on getting it all done via a mobile phone screen, but there should be no reason why it can't do it.
Right, that's great. And there's just two more. Someone's asked, is this an archive or a backup, or is it both? Do you know? Can it be used like an archive, or is it purely just a backup service?
Because of its nature, it basically takes a snapshot of what's there at the time and continues to do that. So since you can, when you use the recovery options, it's not, this is the say the mailbox, reinstate the whole mailbox. You can tell it just to recover specific mail items from it. I'd say it acts in a similar way to both. Now, as long as the backups are still there, you have access to the individual items, but it is there for is able to be used for reinstating how things were exactly at the time of the last backup, or even a few backups beforehand, depending on how long you've got it set to keep those backups for.
That's great. And there's just one more question that's come in. There's no more after that. Does the Acronis system support two-factor authentication?
It does support multi-factor authentication for logging in with your admin account. We have a guide that's in production at the moment that will take you through what steps you have to do to get it set up. It does work with two authenticators, Microsoft's Authenticator application, as well as Google's Authenticator application. And basically you can configure it with either.
No, that's great. That's, and like I say, and obviously there's full support documents on how to use it, or they're in the works. Is that the case?
Yeah, they're currently in being produced as we speak, and we hope to have those all fully rolled out so that we can direct people through making use of the system as easy as possible.
No, that's great. That's it. There's no more questions, I don't think, coming in. I'll just have a quick look. No, that's basically it. So that will end today's webinar. Thank you everyone for watching today's, and there's more to come in the following weeks. Thanks very much to Chris for presenting today, and we look forward to speaking to you all soon.